Hello dear students, welcome to our course Foreign Language. In this lesson we are going to study the themes rights and wrongs. So let's introduce you with the objectives of the lessons. Today we will develop language communicative and discursive competences, and we will work on the critical thinking and creativity. We will enlarge vocabulary related to the topic rules and customs. We will improve speaking and writing skills. So let's get introduced with the plan of the lesson. So the plan of the lesson is to identify the definitions of the term, a rule and a custom, and to study key features of rules and customs, to define the differences between rules and customs, to explain the use of modal and related verbs, to point out types of phrasal verbs. Okay, dear students, let's turn to the next slide. What comes to your mind when you hear the word a rule? Can you give a definition of the word custom? So now let's give a definition to the word rule. Rule is a guideline or instructions that tells people what they are allowed or not allowed to do in a specific situation. And custom, so a custom is something people usually do because it's part of their culture or tradition, not because they have to do. So a custom is a way of doing things that people in a group or society usually follow because it's a shared tradition or cultural practice, not because it's required by law. Now, dear students, let's compare main features of rules and customs on your screen. You can see a clear and concise comparison of the main features of rules and customs. Main features of rules are as following. So made by authorities. Rules are created by someone in charge, such as teacher, parent, organization, or government. Written and clear, the second one. These are the rules, usually written down and clearly explained so people know what is expected. The third one must be followed. People are expected to obey rules. Not following them can lead to consequences or punishments. The fourth one applies to specific places or groups. Rules are used in schools, homes, workplaces, roads, or countries. So the fifth one have consequences. Breaking a rule can lead to penalties like warnings, fines, or other punishments. The last one, designed to keep order. Rules help keep people safe, organized, and respectful of one another. Now let's point out main features of customs. So there are 6 features of customs. Let's discuss the first one, is passed down through tradition. These are the customs which are shared practices or behaviors that come from culture and are passed from one generation to another. The second one, not written or official. Customs that are usually not written as formal laws or rules, but people follow them out of habit or respect. The third one, followed by voluntarily. People choose to follow customs because they are part of the community or culture, not because they are forced to. Number 4, part of daily life and celebrations. These customs include things like greetings, eating, habits, holiday, celebrations, and ways of dressing. Number 5, help people cultural identity. Customs help people feel connected to their history, community, and traditions. The last one may vary between cultures. So customs are different around the world and depend on religion, history, and local beliefs. In short, rules are officially made by authorities and must be followed. Customs are traditional, cultural practices followed by choice. Okay, dear students, let's turn to the next slide. On this slide, you can see a clear and simple comparison to define the differences between rules and customs. The first one concerning definition, rules, instructions that must be followed in certain places. Customs, traditions, ways of behaving shared by a group, created by rules, created by authorities, example, parents, teachers, governments, and customs created by communities or cultures over time. The third one, purpose. The purpose of the rules is to maintain order, safety, and fairness, and the purpose of customs is to express cultural values, identity, or beliefs. The fourth one, followed because. These are the rules which are followed because they are required and enforced, and customs are followed because they are respected and expected but not enforced. Number 5, consequences. Concerning rules, breaking rules often leads to punishment, and concerning customs, not following customs may seem rude or disrespectful. The next one, examples. Rules, don't litter, obey traffic lights, and concerning customs, shake hands when meeting, celebrate holidays, and so on. Okay, dear students, let's turn to the modal verbs, which are the special helping verbs used to show. These are our new grammar material of today's lesson. So these modal verbs used to show ability, possibility, permission, advice, necessity, obligation. They come before the main verb and are always followed by the base form of the verb without to. For example, can is used for ability, permission. Could is used for past ability, polite request. May is used for permission, possibility. Might is used for small possibility. Must for strong obligation, deduction. Shall for suggestions. Should for advice and expectations. We use will, future, willingness, and would for polite or for unreal situations. Okay, let's break down the types of phrasal verbs with clear definitions and examples, focusing on the 4 key types: literal, idiomatic, separable, and inseparable. The first one, literal phrases. So these phrasal verbs have meaning you can easily understand from the individual words. So the next one, idiomatic phrasal verbs have a meaning that is different from the meanings of the individual words. And the third one is separable. You can separate the verb and particle by placing the object in between. And the next one, inseparable. You cannot separate the verb and the particle. Okay, dear students, let's turn to our next slide. You can see the quotations about customs. Your task, dear students, is to learn by heart these quotations and to give the translation into Kazakh or equivalent in our Kazakh languages. Please pay attention to some meaningful and thoughtful, provoking quotations about customs from various writers, philosophers, and leaders. Okay, dear students, here we have next task about questions. So these are the questions about the materials and about the grammar themes that we have passed through in our today's lesson. So you have to give the full answer to each questions. So let me read each questions. The first one, what is the definition of a rule and how does it differ from a custom? The next one, can you list and explain at least 3 key features of a rule and 3 key features of a custom? And the next one, what are the main differences between rules and customs in terms of their purpose and enforcement? And number 4, how are modal verbs used in English? Give 2 examples with explanations. And the question number 5, what are the different types of phrasal verbs and how do you distinguish between separable and inseparable phrasal verbs? Okay, dear students, so let's turn to our next slide. Now let me give you a descriptive writing task. There are 3 writing tasks about people. Choose one of them and write a 300 or 400 word essay. So the first task is explore the customs of a country. or community you are interested in. Describe at least 3 customs in detail, explaining how these customs influence daily life and social interactions within that community. The second one, write a detailed description of the rules that are important in your school, home, or workplace. Explain why these rules exist, how they help people, and what might happen if these rules were not followed. And the last task is to study the differences between customs and rules in your culture or any culture you choose. Describe how each affects people's behavior and relationships, giving examples to show the contrast between following customs and obeying a rule. So on this screen, the learners, you can see research project task, focus on the topic rules and customs. This task includes a clear task description and 5 research questions to guide students through the planning and research process. Investigate the concepts of rules and customs, understand their roles in society, and analyze the similarities and differences. You should define rules and customs and explain why understanding both is important in social life. So here we have research questions, dear students. So I think this task is clear for you. Okay, dear students, we have come to the conclusion of the lesson. So on this lesson, we have identified the definitions of the terms, a rule and a custom. We have studied key features of a rule and a custom, and we have defined the differences between rules and customs, and we have explained the use of modal and related verbs, and we also have pointed out types of phrasal verbs. Okay, dear students, you can get more information about this lesson from the references that are given on this slide and on the website lists. So dear students, it was nice to have a lesson with you today. So have a good day off. See you soon.